Hi everybody, Cody Hunter here and coming at you live from my wonderful bassoon reed making room here at my house. I wanted to do a little bit of a very brief workshop today for our double reed players that want to start using vibrato and developing it and starting to wanting to apply to your musical phrasing. So vibrato is, we see with our string players all the time. We can hear it with our flutists, and it's this oscillating of air that, when applied appropriately, is a really great way to make a phrase more musical and make a more musical line. So when you start thinking about using vibrato as a double reed player, what you don't want to do is use your jaw. That's great for other single reed instruments like jazzers, or people in jazz. But for double reed instruments, there are generally we want to make sure that we're using our abdomen. So if we start to use our jaw, it's just a little bit too wide and a little bit too uncontrolled, an unsavory sort of vibrato. So what we want to think about doing is using our abdomen, and no, not our diaphragm, but our abdomen. It's sort of like when you want to do a belly laugh, like Santa Claus, ho, 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 and you really want to pack a punch. You want to use those same muscles when you are developing your vibrato. If it's happening anywhere further up into your throat, it could be uncomfortable, and that might sound kind of odd. The epiglottal stops, the Elmer Fudd sounds that you might be producing here. Think lower. Have the vibrato being produced very low. Okay. Pick a C or a favorite note that oboists may have, one that's going to sound great all the time and that you're very comfortable with playing as you develop this. And then you can move on to playing things like scales or whatever type of long tone exercise that you like to do. So I'm going to pick my favorite note, which is a C. And as I play the C, the goal is to keep it in tune, and then the vibrating of the sound, the oscillating of the sound actually drops lower and then comes back up to being in tune. I don't go sharp, and I don't go sharp, in tune, low, and back to in tune. I stay in tune and I drop. And this could be done through a process of playing, diminishing your dynamic, and then crescendoing back up to forte to start incorporating your abdomen muscles. Because we do the same thing when we play piano, medium, piano, and then forte. We want to use those same muscles, that same idea when doing vibrato, and you can do that the same way. So I'm going to pick a note, in this case my C, and then I'm going to pulse my air, my belly laugh, my abdomen muscle once every 4 beats. And I kind of have to get softer and then blow forte to make it happen. And then after I get good at that, I can move on to half notes. So I'm pulsing once every 2 beats. And then I can move on to quarter notes. And then I can move on to eighth notes. And then I can go to 16ths. And if you want to move on to something faster, you can. You can also toss in triplets. You could do a mixture of those different rhythmic figures to make it really interesting. So the idea is to practice those things one piece at a time. And then you can start to do exercises where you are fluctuating those rhythms, and then eventually you'll be able to sprinkle it into your musical phrasing to make the vibrato really interesting. So it's not one thing all the time, but it's a mixture of different things that create your vibrato, and then to your vibrato speeds, and then how you apply that to your musical phrasing to make it really interesting. So in a nutshell, that's basically a great place to start. Maybe we can touch base again a little bit later to talk about how to more specifically prescribe it to musical phrasing. All right. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.